Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the August 1st, 2023 City of Oldsmar Council meeting. It is 7 p.m. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Our first item on the agenda is our invocation and our pledge allegiance to the flag by our city attorney, Tom Trask. Please rise.
Our Heavenly Father, we come humbly before you in a time of sorrow. The death of Larry Siraki, Mayor Siraki's brother, burdens our hearts. We pray that you will comfort his wife of 52 years, Diane, and his two children, Tara and Todd, and welcome him into your heavenly kingdom. We are hopeful that your grace and love will be with the Siraki family and those present here tonight who share in their pain and loss. This we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tom. Just a quick story. My brother came to visit me for my birthday after our last council meeting. He insisted to come down to visit, and when he went home, he passed away. He didn't tell me he was sick. So I just wanted to thank Tom for that prayer today.
You'll come here.
All right, next item on our agenda is the Oldsmar Open Forum. Each speaker will be recognized once and will be limited to 5-minute presentation on any subject. Please state your name and your address for the record. The open forum will conclude at 7:30 p.m. Is there anybody on this side of the room who would like to speak to the city council? Come on up, Mayor.
Got a little bit of show and tell also. Somebody asked me, thought you wasn't coming anymore, and I thought, well, this will be about the last time I'll come before council for a while. I'm tired of, I know you're tired of my gibberish, so I won't, I'll let it go for a while. What I'm really here for, I'm gonna leave it to the last. I thought I'd have a little show and tell. Y'all what this is? Do you know what a Florida cracker is? Have you ever heard of a Florida cracker?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in Florida for, since I was 13 years old, about 70 years, 75 years. This is a Florida cracker.
Yeah.
It's one piece of wood that's been carved down and then braided. That's what a Florida cracker is, okay? Now you know. This is going to the Historical Society. And I thought I'd show you this. This is another book that's signed by I think it is REOs. That's going to the Historical Society. This goes big books. This is a $10 bill signed by REOs down here. He had his own money made in Detroit. I'm good at that too. That's signed by him. That's going to the Historical Society. A couple of things. Jerry Beveland's 515 Pine Avenue South. I apologize, Mayor, to y'all. I was told about something that's going to be on the agenda tonight, and I thought, well, I'll make it from a person that I really respect. So I thought I'd say something about it. It's coming under the city clerk. When you hire a city manager over here,
City clerk?
and up there, Tom and the city manager, city clerk, you rank them and then you rank them the way you want, and then you hire them. This is my personal opinion, okay, gang? You don't rank a citizen of this town. If you ranked me for whatever I've ever been here, I would never gotten anything that had put me at the bottom of the list. Don't rank a person that comes up here, a citizen, and wants to donate their time. Get another word, something else, but you don't rank them. I mean, that's an embarrassment as far as I'm concerned. That's an embarrassment for them to be ranked. You very seldom have two people come up here for the same position anyway. But if they do, don't rank number one and number two. To me, that's an embarrassment. And I would like one other thing. Whenever you, someday I wish you'd make a pedestal out here for the redevelopment piece of bronze so people can see it. Have any of you ever really go out there and looked at it? It's in the cement. It's in the walkway. You've never seen it, have you? It's right in front of, it's 15 foot from the front door. Put it on a pedestal. Of course, my name's on it. That's also important. Now, why I'm really here, my beautiful sweetheart, we came here for a reason. You're going to honor goodies tonight. I'm going to tell you something. That is some special people. And I see the chef's not here yet. That's okay. He's baking. That's what I say. This is his wife.
Yeah.
And that's their daughter, Linda. And we go there at least once or twice a week. If you want good food, go to Goodies. I mean, they are incredible, and I want to honor you tonight by thanking you for honoring them tonight. And that's why I was really here. I just wanted to educate you and let you know what a Florida cracker really is. It's not a person, it's that thing right there. And council, I have no more gibberish to do. I've enjoyed coming before you. I've enjoyed saying the things I do. And my wife says I talk too much. Thank you for who you are.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank
You're
you,
always
Jerry.
welcome.
You enjoyed the letter.
Here comes the chef.
Thank you. Hey!
There's the chef, Jose.
Yeah.
You're late.
You're like,
All right, thank you, Jerry. Anybody else on this side of the room would like to speak to the council? Anybody on this side of the room would like to speak to the council? No one? All right. With that, we're going to close the Oldsmar open forum. Our next item on our agenda is the community minute, and that will be read by our city clerk, Kristen Garcia.
Citizens Academy registration is now open for the class of 2023. Courses will be held on Thursdays evenings, 6:30 to 9 p.m. from September 7th to November 2nd. This is a great way for Oldsmar citizens and businesses to learn more about how their government works through hands-on activities and lectures. Registration is required. Please call the city clerk's office. Veterans Wall applications. Applications for engraving on the Oldsmar's Veterans Monument Wall are due by Friday, September 8th. This is a wonderful opportunity to recognize a current or past Oldsmar resident who served in the United States Armed Forces. For more information, please call the city clerk's office. Volunteers needed. Volunteer with the city and promote opportunities to your neighbors. The city has 4 different activities where you can help before and after a tropical storm or hurricane event. Be a social media ambassador, pledge to plan, assist with sandbag operations, and debris removal. Art reception, Tuesday, August 15th, 5:30 to 7 p.m. at Oldsmar City Hall. The community is invited to attend the artist and exhibit opening reception featuring a Florida-themed exhibit of creations by members of the Florida chapter of the Women's Caucus for Art. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Great job. Next item is our approval of additional new agenda items, which are 2, 4, 8, 12, and 13. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
second?
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this item? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item is our awards and recognition. And Jerry Beaverland gave that away. And Jared Buckman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, perfect. Thank you. So tonight we're going to present the Business of the Quarter Award for the second quarter 2023. Tonight we celebrate a local establishment who just recently celebrated their first anniversary. The Business of the Quarter Award for second quarter 2023 is J. Goody Bakery. Come on up. Want to introduce Chef Jose and Myra to you? Come on up, guys. I've got a little bio on you that they told the story. So Chef Jose brings a wealth of culinary experience to J. Goody. With a background in resort hotels and cruise ships, he honed his skills as a pastry chef during his time with MSC Cruises as second pastry man supervisor, also in Genoa, Italy. His passion for creating wonderful tasting dishes shines through in every bite. Myra, on the other hand, brings her extensive business management experience and a commitment to superior customer service to J. Goody Cafe. With her warm and welcoming demeanor, she ensures that every guest feels part of the J. Goody family. Together, they form a dynamic team that has brought J. Goody Bakery to life. Their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction keeps patrons happy and coming back for more. Their goal is to provide a culinary haven where you can indulge in scrumptious dishes crafted with passion and precision, all while experiencing exceptional service. From their delectable pastries to their mouth-watering savory offerings, every item on the menu reflects Chef Jose's culinary knowledge and expertise. Each dish is thoughtfully prepared with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds and create a memorable dining experience. I know I've personally had a chance to come many times, and I love it every time. The food is wonderful. We love the atmosphere. We love your warm and welcoming heart every time we see you. So congratulations on behalf of the City of Oldsmar.
The family, bring up the family.
Yeah, come on
Yes,
up.
we gotta bring up the family.
Thank you, everyone. I would like to take a moment and thank God for the opportunity that He have given us to, start our own business and a bright future for our kids. We still have youngsters, You're gonna see little Angel work on Saturdays, and Amanda work on Sundays, and then Linda works every day. She only gets one day off. But together, it's a family affair. So when you come to J. Goody, it's all about the warmth, environment, and family. We are fully owned and fully operated. Family owned and fully operated, that's what I call it. But thank you so much for the community support. Thanks for the city of Oldsmar for supporting our business and acknowledging our hard work and dedication to the community. We also live here, so it's Oldsmar business and family. Thank you so much.
Yes, I appreciate to everybody to recognize my small business. So I had a lot of things to do, but I don't know if he has this moment to say it. The issues. Okay, so I guess it's not a good moment to say, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Your food's wonderful.
Thank you.
You guys can step back over here and get a good shot. Okay, guys. Should be in the photo.
Congratulations.
Thank you for being here. At least it wasn't me.
Thank you, Councilmember Buckman, for that. Great job.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is on the agenda is our Community Redevelopment Agency. And Councilmember Buckman, do you have anything to disclose?
Yes, I disclose my primary residence is located within the CRA. I have filed my paperwork with the city clerk as of this morning.
Thank you very much. I'm going to turn this item over to our city manager, Felicia Donnelly.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Item number 2 is award the contract for professional planning consulting services to GAI Consultants under the same terms and conditions as the City of Ocoee contract, RFQ 21-006, PB 22-019. The city issued a specific request for proposals to 5 different developers to redevelop the City Hall site consistent with the mission and vision created in collaboration with community stakeholders. While the 5 developers submitted letters of interest, there were no formal proposals received. At the July 18th City Council meeting, Laura Smith from GAI Community Solutions presented options for consideration to the council. The City Council selected the option which included interviews of the developers, possible refinement and reissuance of the request for proposals based on feedback from the developers. This agenda item is for the consideration of the proposal from GAI for council selection for the next steps at the July 18th meeting. The contract will be awarded for an amount of not to exceed $47,000, including up to $2,000 of direct expenses. Appropriations are available in the Community Redevelopment Agency Fund. It's important to note that the purchase order would be executed in steps. So the first step would be the interview process in which the consultant would present the results before they move to the further steps.
Wonderful. Thank you. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. How about a second? Second. All right. Anybody in discussion on this item?
Nothing from me. No, you're not.
No? Anyone else? Yes, Councilmember Gannon.
Just one quick thing. Thank you, Mayor. When I saw the price tag of $47,000, I had some severe sticker shock. I was glad to see that this is going to be phased, like a stepped approach as the city manager just described, so that we could see each deliverable before incurring additional costs, because that's like a third of the price of starting over, right? So just something to keep in mind as we continue forward, but I'm in favor with the stepped approach.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
No comments.
I just have one comment, to back up what you just said, Councilmember Gannon. I agree with that. The other thing I'm kind of excited about, it's not coming out like of our general fund, it's in the CRA fund, which I think this is a good move on our part, and we'll see what happens in the next step. All right. I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is our consent docket. This will be read by our city clerk, Kristen Garcia.
Item 3, approve minutes of the July 15th, 2023 council meeting. Item 4, approve payment of June 2023 legal services to Roper, PA for representation of the city and Mayor Siraki with regard to the allegation of the public records violation. Item 5, award contract for street sweeping services to Sweeping Corporation of America under same terms and conditions as Sourcewell contract number 062421. Item 6, award 2023-009 ITB fire station roof replacement to Lewis Walker Roofing, Inc. Item 7, authorize city manager to execute engagement letters with Wells, Hauser, and Schatzel, PA, for the independent audit of the CRA and city's financial statements and to assist with the preparation of the annual comprehensive financial report as of September 30th, 2023.
Thank you very much. Does anybody wish to pull any item from the consent docket? No. Okay, then I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item is our number 8, which is our planning board full membership appointments, and our city clerk, Kristen Garcia, will take care of that for us.
Yes, there are 2 vacancies on the planning board for full members. The terms of Susan Oliver and John Andrew Cambanis expired and they did not reapply to serve. Brenda Giannikos and Stephen Stock, who are both alternate members on the planning board, have applied to serve as full members.
Okay, are they here tonight? No? Oh, yeah, so there, come on up, Stephen, you want anything you want to say?
Just thank you, and I'm honored to serve with the city.
You've been an alternate for a while?
Yes, about a year.
You enjoy it?
Yes.
Good, good,
Wonderful.
wonderful.
Any questions for the council? Do we
No
have any other
questions.
questions for him?
No questions. Thank you for volunteering.
Yeah, thank you for your volunteering, your
Thank you.
service to the city. Thank you so much. All right, I need a motion to approve.
Moved.
I have a motion, how about a second?
Second?
Motion second. Any other discussion?
I think he took my seat when I came up here.
That's right, I remember that now. Now it's coming back to me. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item is item 9, and that will be taken care of by our city attorney, Tom Trask.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 9 is adopt resolution 2023-14 to adopt a formal city seal policy. You remember that on July 18th, I was directed to prepare a resolution to adopt this formal city seal policy. The city seal will be used for items such as agendas and agenda packets, the dais background here at the council chambers, display on windows of city buildings, the official city flag, the podium and lecterns, proclamations, certificates, awards, and trophies, checks, and attesting to official documents such as but not limited to resolutions, ordinances, agreements, contracts, and oaths, and other instruments necessary to authenticate official city documents. It will also be used for city forms. I'm going to go ahead and read the resolution by title only. Resolution 2023-14, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, adopting a city seal policy and providing for an effective date hereof. That was a reading of Resolution 2023-14 by title only.
All right, thank you. I need a motion to approve.
Moved.
I got a
Second.
motion. Katie, you want to be second?
Second.
All right, I got a motion and a second. Do we have any other discussion about our new logo?
Thank you, Chris.
Yep, great job. All right,
Well, just to be
Seal.
clear, Mayor, it's the city seal policy.
Yeah, this is the seal, yeah.
Separate from the logo. Yeah, just want to make sure. Right.
yep.
Yep.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you for your help. That was quick.
Yeah, it was.
All right, city manager, item 10. Felicia, you have the floor.
Item number 10, approve the contract with Pinellas County Sheriff's Office in the amount of $2,107,476 for law enforcement services for next fiscal year, 23-24. Each year, the city council approves an annual contract with Pinellas County Sheriff's Office to provide the city with police protection, traffic enforcement, community policing services, and school crossing guards. Contract represents an increase of 6.82% over the prior year due to the rising cost of law enforcement services. It's important to note that this current contract does include a reduction of 2 crossing guards. So in prior years, we've had 10 crossing guards. This contract includes 8. Pinellas County Sheriff's Department determines the amount of crossing guards in the locations due to where the school enrollment is and how much traffic is at each intersection. I understand that there's a reduction at Forest Lakes Elementary School, so if that becomes a needed addition, then we can add it back into the contract at a later point. The appropriations in the contract are included in the proposed annual budget. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve.
Moved.
Second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this by anyone? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We got them for another year. Item number 11.
Item number 11, one of the biggest draws to Oldsmar is the bay and our parks. Residents are drawn to the natural beauty and the recreational activities that the coast has to offer. We want to ensure that these spaces in the bay remain healthy for future generations. Every year, the Tampa Bay Estuary Program creates a State of the Bay report with water quality data collected throughout the year. Since the construction of the causeways across Old Tampa Bay, the water quality in this section has been impacted by reduced flow and an increased population in the area. While the city is working with regional and state partners to address some of the bigger projects affecting the bay health, we want to do everything possibly that we can locally to keep our waters healthy. The Save the Bay program is a way all residents can get involved in helping to keep our bay clean. The program started in 2021 with the vertical oyster gardens and will continue to add new projects annually. All projects are ongoing, and there are many ways that you can help save our bay. I'd like to introduce Ashley Painter, who will give us a presentation about the program.
Hi, Ashley. Hi.
I see you're using the new template.
Yes, very cool.
And I switched my screens and there we go.
Nice.
Perfect. So, hi, as Felicia said, I'm Ashley Painter. I'm the Environmental Management Supervisor, formerly Sustainability Coordinator for the city. Happy to be here and talk about our Save Our Bay program, which is just a fun citizen science. A little background on me. I am a scientist by training. And you know what? I love science, and I think everyone would too if they just got in and played around in the water a little bit. So that's my goal with the Save Our Bay program, is not only just to bring science back into the fun in our families, but also to help our water quality and help educate our community as to what little things they can do and why we should care. So a little bit of background. The program was created in 2021. As Felicia said, there's the water quality reports. We're on Old Tampa Bay, which historically has poor water quality, mainly because of the causeways. We just have the circulation of the water. Things can't get out, so nutrients stay here. It's not necessarily something that we do. It's just the way that water flows now. So this program was started to help improve the water quality in our bay, to do the things that we can do to make our water quality better. It's mainly a public education platform so that people would understand, are we going to make a huge, huge difference in the great giant Tampa Bay? Probably not. Are we going to teach people why they should care and the things that they can do so that in future generations it gets better? That's our goal, hopefully. It is citizen science, so it brings people in to do these things, and it's whole community involvement. It's not just, you don't have to live on the bay to participate. You can live anywhere in Oldsmar, and really, as we'll say later, you can live anywhere and participate in the state, or really in the country, and participate in one of our surveys. We just won't pay attention to your data. So the first project that we did was Project One, the Vertical Oyster Gardens, or VOGs. So what is a VOG? A VOG is basically a string of oyster shells that we hang off of docks or other things in the water to help grow oysters. An adult oyster can filter about 50 gallons of water per day. And if you think about if we keep growing these bigger and bigger and bigger, how many gallons that can end up from one little oyster a day. They provide, so these bogs, you're thinking, these are dead oyster shells. That's not alive, that's not gonna filter anything. So what they actually do is they provide the surface area for the oysters to attach to, because oysters need to attach to something. Otherwise, they're just gonna float off and either die on the bottom because they don't have a hard surface, or they're just gonna float out of our area and clean other parts when we need it to clean our part. So they also require limited space. Unlike a big oyster reef or other things that you can do, these can hang just straight down off a dock. All they require is about this much of water space, and they don't take up any extra space. They actually, I was out there at Ariold yesterday, and there were some fishermen out there, and they were super, now the VOGs, I say the VOGs are helping. They do. So what they do is they're actually bringing in the fish that start eating and feeding off things. So fish are coming more and more into the, towards the pier, because they want to eat all the things that are on the oysters, and they want to try to eat the oysters. So it kind of has a bunch of different benefits. And eventually, as all things are, rope is not meant to last forever. It will break, and it will create an oyster reef on the bottom that will continue to grow and grow as it gets big. All right, the next part. You all got a card a little bit earlier, because we're going to have a quiz. And I know what you're thinking. I love quizzes. Why would... Absolutely amazing. So I'm going to give you about 5 seconds and see if you can count how many oysters you see in this picture.
2?
Okay, got 2. There's no wrong answer. Well, there is a wrong answer, but there's no...
0?
Okay, we have a 0, a 2.
Where?
6.
6.
Our picture helps.
Are you looking at the next slide?
Is it closest without going over, like Price is Right?
Yeah, closest without going over.
Because then I'll go 7.
8?
You'll go 7, 8.
25.
What?
All right, we got 25.
25, all right. So the answer is, our city attorney was right.
Oh.
There were 6. If you can't see them, they're really hard to see when they're little. This is year 1. This is 1 year after we put them in the water last year when we did our monitoring event. This is how big they grow in a year. Kind of really hard to see. All these other little things, they're barnacles, which also help filter the water, and they grow like crazy. But the oysters will eventually push them out and take over and get bigger and bigger as they go along.
They're so cute.
So,
It's hard to tell the difference between the.
it is hard. It was a fun process when we went counting because you have a bunch of people who have never seen an oyster before, and they're trying to count them, and they're really hard to see. And you have everyone. We had everything from a 2-year-old up to about a 60-year-old out there. So you get a lot of different answers when you do this. But that's the fun of it. You learn. You learn new things and just get to see the fun of it.
Cool.
Before you go to the next item, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When we were at the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council environmental seminar for that day, remember they had the cages with the oyster shells inside?
Yes.
Do we plan on doing anything like that?
We have a project in sort of development. It is a thought at this point, and we're kind of planning to see how we can do it in the future. It's a little bit harder. The reason we started with vertical oyster gardens instead of things that go on the bay floor, because the permitting and the process to get something to put it on the bay floor is really long and really hard.
Okay, well, that was.
So our first thing was, let's do this, see if we even have oysters and they'll come before we spend the time and the money to do a bigger project. And as we saw, they are recruiting. So that's a positive thing, and that's our next step, Mayor.
Perfect.
Is to
And
go to bigger.
do we need more oyster shells? Do we need to collect more for you?
So we've restarted our oyster shell collection program. Right now we're partnering with Salt Rock Tavern. So we are collecting they're keeping their shells at the restaurant, putting them in a bin for us, and then we're taking them off a couple times a week.
Good,
Are they
perfect.
back at the municipal services?
I will say my staff today was the first time they've ever done the collection, and they weren't overly happy about the smell. The first time. Me, I was fine, but they'll learn. You get used
Thank
to
you.
it.
It's smelly sometimes.
It is. All right, so our next project is our citywide tree inventory. And I know you're thinking, tree inventory, what do trees have to do with the bay? Trees have a lot to do with helping clean up the bay. They help filter our stormwater. So all that water that's running off, all the stuff, they help get all the junk and the nutrients and the pollutants out of the water before it goes out into our bay water. They also absorb excess stormwater. So it helps, for every tree, it helps you take some of it so you're not flooding and just running straight off. They provide shade. It's hot. If you haven't noticed outside, it's not warm. It's not really cold this summer. And then this one, the reason we chose a tree inventory is because it's citywide. The thing I heard the most with the vertical oyster gardens is, I really want to hang them, but I don't have a dock. I don't live on the water. We had over 100 people show up to help build them, but then it was a little disappointing because they couldn't take them home and do it themselves. So the tree inventory is everywhere. Anyone can do it, and it's just a fun activity. I'm going to go through a little bit of how this works. So what we'll do with the tree inventory, there is a survey that can, survey that can be taken online or through an app on your phone. And you go through different questions. I'm not going to go through the full survey, but I will click through a few. You pick the type of tree. Say we have a pine tree. And then we do pictures. These are the most common trees in Oldsmar. We did it specifically. Our former Assistant Leisure Services Director gave me a list of all the most common trees in Oldsmar. That way, we could start with those, and then we can go on from there. And we put pictures because, you know what? I don't know what a slash pine looks like different from a longleaf pine. So this gives you an idea. But it's okay. If you don't know, say, I don't know. It's fine. We don't mind. And you should go through the questions they're asking. We're looking at like how tall it is, how big around, and then we do ask for photos. That way, if you put in, say, Felicia goes out, she was like, oh, look at this beautiful oak tree. And she takes the picture of it, and I'm like, that's a palm tree. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll teach her.
I'm just
We'll
playing
teach
with
her.
Felicia, but it's for those purposes so that we can go back and we have quality control. Because sometimes you do mess up. You might think it's a slash pine and it's a longleaf pine. Easily mistakable. And then it also geotags, so what we'll see, maybe, when we come down, is a dashboard that is real time. As soon as you submit of your survey, it pops up on a map that you can see on our website, or you can click on it. And I know you're thinking, obviously, all the trees in the entire city are north of Tampa Road. They're all in one place right now. This was the way that we did this was our trial. Doesn't want to move for me today. But anyway, with this, with the dashboard, what is really cool is that you can see all the different types for whatever level you are. You can zoom in and move around. You can pick your house. You can do however. Or if you want to say, all I care about are the cypress trees. And then it'll filter by only the cypress trees or whatever kind of tree that is that you're looking for. So this is just a fun way for us to go through, and you can kind of see where everything is in the city. All right, what's next? Because there's always a next. August 5th, so this Saturday, we're having a launch of our tree inventory. So this is going to be our how to do it, and we're going to be out at RE Olds with everybody out there counting all the trees at RE Olds. We'll also be monitoring our bogs, so we'll see those little tiny babies, see how big they've gotten. Fun fact, they've gotten about this big. So they have grown quite a bit in the past year. It is from 9 to 11 on Saturday. Bring the whole family. It is a fun family-filled event. Lots of things to do. And thank you. If you have any questions, reach out to me or Ben, our new sustainability coordinator, Sustainable Oldsmar. You can find all this information.
Great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashley.
Council, any questions before we move on? Nope.
Patient.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Where are we?
Your spat.
Item 12.
Next item is item 12. Felicia Donnelly, City Manager.
Item number 12 is the Public Art Master Plan Methodology Presentation. Many cities throughout the nation have recognized the value of public art and its impact on energizing public spaces, transforming neighborhoods, stimulating economic development, and reflecting the unique character of a city. Over the years, the City of Oldsmar has made a number of investments in public art. City staff will develop a plan in partnership with the community to guide future investments in public art. This plan will include outreach to the community to create a shared vision statement. It will establish a task force to use that vision to develop core principles, articulate goals, identify growth strategies, and propose administrative guidelines. This methodology for a public art plan will provide a roadmap for future of public art that reflects the community's vision, values, and aspirations for Oldsmar. Joan Byrne, our cultural affairs specialist, programmer,
New title.
Both.
new
All of the
title
things.
for the new year, is here to make the presentation.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm here tonight to present about the methodology for the development of a public art plan for the city of Oldsmar. But before presenting that methodology itself, I'd like to take just a moment to ask an important question. Why public art? I know a lot of people ask that question, and I believe the answer is fairly simple. Public art communicates to residents and visitors what Oldsmar represents. I believe it says this is a city that cares about who it is, what happens here, and where it's going in the future. As such, it focuses on two important elements: community identity and economic development. Public art contributes to a sense of place. It cultivates civic pride. It expresses community values. It elevates livability for residents, and it fosters collaboration. And public art contributes to economic development. It promotes tourism. It transforms underused spaces. It supports innovation, encourages commerce, and it can be a driver for investment in neighborhoods and public spaces through aesthetic improvements. But before we move to the actual methodology, I also want to give just the briefest possible history of public art in Oldsmar. And interestingly, it all began with R.E. Olds. He actually commissioned the painting that now hangs in Tico Hall by an artist by the name of Gibson Catlett in 1918. And that's where it all started. But kind of fast forward to the 2000s, we have the wonderful tank murals at Mobley, in Mobley Park, called Wilderness Reflections. Those were done in 2005. And that same year, Emily the Manatee made her appearance at the public library. In 2016, the mural was painted at R.E. Olds Park on the band shell. In 2018, a sidewalk mural was installed at Sheffield Park, as well as the mural in the children's room at the library by Beth Warmack, Harold in the Purple Crayon. In 2020, Don Gialanella, I had to practice that name, I didn't think I'd get it out right, produced a lovely sculpture called Taking Flight, which was, a commissioned piece of art. And coming soon, I promise, in 2023, we'll have Winner's Way by Gus and Lena Ocampa Silva at the Sports Complex. So the city has made quite an investment over time. And let's see if this is going to move forward. Oops. So it's important at this point in time to have an actual written plan, I believe, for public art. It seems like the prudent thing to do because it gives intentionality to our investment, and it also provides a roadmap for future investments, for maintenance, and for the accomplishment of long-term goals. The public art plan will do a number of things. As Felicia mentioned in the opening statement, the most important thing is to develop a shared vision from the community of what they want for public art. It'll articulate the goals, the core values, and some growth strategies. It'll develop a framework for accomplishing those goals, and it'll outline policies and procedures for implementing the plan. There seems to be a little delay here. There we go. The public art plan, however, doesn't exist in a vacuum. It needs to align with other city planning tools. And certainly this one, I noticed for the first time tonight, the strategic vision statement, partnering with families, businesses, and visitors to make Oldsmar a creative, vibrant, and thriving community. And clearly, a public art plan will contribute to that, especially in some of the goals under that vision statement, such as economic development, quality of place, public relations. The plan also aligns with the identified council priorities, the development of a downtown corridor and engagement with the community, an expanded engagement with the community. The public art plan offers lots of opportunities in each of those areas. Whoops, skipped ahead here. So what are some of the proposed goals for the public art plan? And others may emerge as a group meets, but these are the ones that I think we can safely say we will try to accomplish over the next year. First of all is to develop a working group of interested residents to serve on a public art task force. The second is to develop a public input process for creating that vision statement that very intimately involves the residents of Oldsmar. Then based on that community-generated vision statement, we can define what some of the guiding principles will be for Oldsmar's public art program. It'll define a standard process for community engagement in how we acquire public art. It'll identify potential locations for future installations, identify strategies for expanding public art opportunities in Oldsmar, and then it will finally achieve a written plan using feedback from the community surveys, from discussions of the task force members, and from city staff. And finally, once this wonderful plan is finally completed and unveiled, we'll hold a community workshop to introduce what we came up with for the public art program. This is a long process. It's a year-long process, but I think the important thing is that it begins with public input and it culminates with the public being involved with the presentation of that final plan. So that's, I think, something that the council has said is very, very important, and I know it's important to the city manager to really increase. We can never have too much community engagement. So there's going to be a lot of time over the next year spent engaging citizens in the development of the vision statement that guides all the other components of that plan. And through those efforts, the plan will ensure public support for the program. However, I do want to say this. Public art does not appeal to all people all the time, nor should that be an expectation. Public art does something very well. It attracts attention. That's what it's designed to do. Draw attention to the community, its history, and its forward momentum. We believe that with input from the community, this year-long process, as we've kind of outlined there, will result in providing a product that'll guide public art in the city of Oldsmar for the foreseeable future. So just like Ashley had next steps, we have next steps too. So the first step in this will be to recruit task force members, and we're suggesting an application process where people express their interest, maybe even some credentials that they have to help serve on that committee. Then the council will appoint the actual task force, will schedule meetings, and then get down to work. So I am happy to answer any questions. Thank you for the opportunity of presenting tonight, and thank you for having me in Oldsmar. I've enjoyed my first year here immensely.
Great job. Wonderful. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone? I'm just excited. Anyone? Go ahead, Councilmember Gannon.
I just, it's funny, you bring this up and you don't realize you need something until someone like Joan puts it all together, and then you're like, wait a minute, we have been kind of approving public art projects to go here and then there, and then wait a minute, what's the plan? Where's the next one going to go, and why, and what does the public really think? And last time we did the survey and we appointed the folks, but it makes sense, and I just love that forward thinking, and how can we get more people involved? I love it. It's just, I really appreciate the timeline and the history lesson as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor, anything?
Yeah, I think just to add on, I think we've iterated to the point of having essentially a group similar to this at the project level versus what's the program level of the
Project
overall
versus
art,
program.
so that you can figure out where things are going instead of, well, we've already decided we're going to do something here. What is it going to be? So going that next level up of structure, I think, will go a long way.
All right.
Very nice.
Anyone else?
Just wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Janelle.
As someone who has artists in the family, my wife actually is like, you're going to support this? Yes, I'm going to support this. Absolutely.
You got her approval in advance. Good.
So I want to just bring up one scenario. I went to Buffalo, New York for vacation for 2 weeks this year. And I haven't been there since the winter went by, so maybe 8 months. I noticed public art has really taken off. They're painting on sides of buildings, going down Hurdle Avenue and different roads, and I've noticed the public art in the area has exploded. And you're right, it's just a visual thing. You notice it, and it's a change. So this is a great road that we're heading down. I love your processes that you're designing for our city, where we're headed with this. I love public art, and I'm looking forward to what you have for us in the future. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joan.
All right, item 13.
Item number 13, approve a special event application fee waiver request for the Bay Area Drill Championship event to be held Saturday, September 16th. VFW Post 12186, in partnership with the Dunedin High School Navy Junior ROTC, is hosting a military drill competition on Saturday, September 16th from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. This competition will feature both high school and post-high school drillers from across Florida and beyond. The competition highlights armed solo and tandem drill performances, as well as unarmed tandem performances similar to the services branches drill teams. This unique event will take place at Veterans Memorial Park and is free to the public to attend. In accordance with the City of Oldsmar Special Event Guide, the VFW Post 12186 and Dunedin High School Navy JROTC are requesting a fee waiver associated with this event in the amount of $350. A copy of the application is attached for review, and mayor representatives are here to speak if you would like.
David McKinley, you have the
Sure.
floor.
Good evening, everyone. My name is David McKinley, and a proud member of Oldsmar area for more than 30 years. I'm also the elected commander of our VFW Post 12186 right here in Oldsmar. I'm also joined, luckily, by Tanya McKinley as the elected president for our family members and auxiliary component. Behind me, the two young men that are dressed here are representatives from our neighbors down in Dunedin, the junior ROTC component. And they have an aim at continuing positive influence in the community and doing something interactive throughout the summer, keeping our youth active in patriotic events. And so with that, as a representative of the VFW and our family members auxiliary, we absolutely want to support this and like to encourage and or thank you for your vote on waiving the future fee. This event is going to be self-sufficient. We have both set up and cleanup crews identified all within. There is not going to be any additional requirements for manpower and or expenses off the city. And as a regional event, as you know, my love for this city, this is absolutely a positive thing to promote Oldsmar. It's going to encourage the youth participating in patriotic activities here, and it's going to represent the courage to perform while conducting drills and ceremonies that are very associated with the historic and professional manual of arms and the military service to our nation. So with that, is there any questions?
Great job. Wonderful. I love it.
Don't clap yet, you didn't vote.
Councilmember Gannon, go ahead.
So will members of the public be able to just kind of bring a lawn chair and grab a seat and watch?
Once we have all the identified people and the locations set, we are going to have it open to the public. So anybody we're going to promote locally, we're going to promote hopefully with the city. So that way everyone else in the area knows what it looks like. They're going to be able to come down and see a few different events. We only have a few 10 by 10s coming up, and I'm partnering with a company also within the chamber to provide like cooling fans, much like you'd see on the side of a football field, right? To provide cooling areas to help mitigate any heat concerns because of the, mid-September
You can have my 10 by 10 tent.
But we're going to be there. We're going to have a good time with it.
Are these gentlemen behind you going to be participating?
Yes, we will.
Oh, wow. Are you
Are they
both
gonna
at
win?
Dunedin High School?
Yes, we are.
Wow. What year are you? Are you juniors?
Both going into senior year.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Any question for these two?
Yeah, I think.
And or
Well,
myself?
Vice Mayor.
I've got one for you.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of participation do you anticipate you might get in this first annual?
As far as numbers?
event? Yeah, as far as.
And so again,
participants.
as the Bay Area Regional Championship, this is the first annual, right? So this is kind of a test bed. Obviously, we love the Veterans Memorial that we have right here in Oldsmar and the Florida look behind it. So we think that's going to be attractive to begin with. Currently, there are more than 35 competitors that have signed up. And then we'll continue to see, they've got another week or so to participate in the registration. Yeah.
How exciting.
Great job.
Do you have some of these guys as well as others participating in the event planning as well and kind of coordination, or just?
Oh,
adult
absolutely.
I was gonna say,
No.
Who's going to be
You
setting
know
up
me,
all those
look,
tents?
we're guiding up here, and we absolutely want to continue to put them in a position to make decisions and planning.
Great
and
leadership,
then we're just
yeah.
kind of little rudder steer.
Yep, fantastic.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming tonight.
Anybody else?
I'm
questions?
excited. No, that's great. That's with a family member. It started off in, I don't know if he was in junior ROTC, but definitely in college, and then expanded that into he was career military, retired. Now he works at Notre Dame as part of their ROTC program. So thank you both. Thank you, Dave, for sure.
I'm
Really
probably
cool.
disclosing
Yes,
too much
Jared?
of my past now, but I spent 2 years in Navy JRTC and 2 years Air Force. So we got two schools here in Florida that I attended, both Admiral Farragut and Florida Air Academy, which is now Florida Prep. Are you open to Florida Air from Melbourne? Is that too far out the region?
We have quite a bit of invitations going out, and I'm going to put somebody on the spot so he can send it. We also have one going to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department. So we're hoping to get a wide variety of participants to come down and showcase different levels of experience, all for the fun of participation and, of course, judging.
So is there like a senior division?
I was going to challenge you.
There's a few steps out there.
So sorry, we can't risk that for insurance purposes.
Need a helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So David, I just want to say
Yes, sir.
one thing. I appreciate, and I think I'm speaking for the council, all you do for our city. You are a great asset to our community. What you're doing here tonight is just, it touches my heart. Thank you so much for what you do. I am looking forward to this event. As Katie Gannon said, I'm going to be there in my chair watching the event.
Fantastic.
I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
How about a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, please say Bay Area Drill Championship.
Bay Area Drill Championship.
All right, we nailed it.
Anybody don't want this? No, approved.
Get on.
All right,
Thank you.
love it.
Thank you as always.
You're welcome.
Item 14.
Item 14, approve the declaration of cooperation with the Tampa Bay Nitrogen Management Consortium and the City of Oldsmar for the management of nitrogen loads in Tampa Bay. In August 1996, governmental partners joined with key industries in the Tampa Bay region to create a unique public-private partnership known as the Tampa Bay Nitrogen Management Consortium with the express purpose of developing an action plan to meet the hold-to-line nitrogen load targets. In November 2002, the Florida Department of Environmental Protection concluded that the Tampa Bay Estuary Program's nitrogen management strategy provided reasonable assurance that the state water quality criteria for nutrients would be met. Reasonable assurance updates were submitted in 2007, 2012, 2017, and 2022 to help ensure continued recovery of all vital seagrass habitat and the successful nitrogen management strategy that makes it possible local governments, agencies, and industry participants of the Tampa Bay Nitrogen Management Consortium declare their intent to work together over 2022 to 2026 period to provide Florida Department of Environmental Protection with an updated 2027 reasonable assurance document, ensuring that state water quality criteria for nutrients would be consistently met and that seagrass recovery towards the 40,000 acre goal will be realized. The partners commit further to collaboratively funding, developing, and implementing alternative water quality management strategies or actions that may help achieve this end as partners. Staff recommends approval.
Very cool.
All right, thank you. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I got a motion, how about a second?
Second.
All right, any other discussion on this item? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on our agenda is item 15, and that will be handled by our city clerk, Kristen Garcia.
Item 15, authorize city attorney to draft a resolution to adopt a policy to establish a procedure for board appointments. Mayor, I request that council table this item to September 20th, 2023 for discussion to allow time for an in-depth analysis.
Okay, so we're gonna, on September 20th, we're gonna move this so that we all discuss it at a regular council meeting, correct? All right, I need a motion to move this meeting to September, or postpone to September 20th.
So move.
Move, I'm a second. Got a motion and a second by Councilmember Graver. Any other discussion on this item? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 16, item 16.
Item 16, reschedule the March 19th, 2024 council meeting to March 26th, 2024. The municipal election will be held on Tuesday, March 19th, 2024, which is the same day of the city council meeting. Section 606 of the charter requires that the city clerk transmit election returns to the canvassing board as appointed by the council or the council sitting as the canvassing board at a meeting to be held at 6 p.m. on the 7th day following the election. The canvassing board meeting is typically held before the council meeting. In order to comply with the charter, staff recommends rescheduling the March 19th, 2024 council meeting to March 26th, 2024.
All right, I need a motion to approve.
Moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion on this? I think we're all good with that, right? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on our agenda is Councilmember Gannon, item 17.
Yes, so this is item 17, discuss payment of future legal fees regarding Mayor Siraki's alleged public records violation. So at the, I was reviewing the minutes of the May 16th council meeting, and I regret that I was unclear in my motion, and some recent events kind of require me to clarify that a little bit. On May 8th, we were made aware via a letter that we received from Bartlett, Loeb, Hines, and Thompson of a demand for forensic inspection and notice of intent to sue. And it was related to, it is related to an alleged public records violation by the mayor and also the city. And it's my understanding, and we've been made aware by outside counsel, that the city has responded to the notice and request, and that the work as to the city has concluded. We've also been made aware that the former mayor does not intend to file a lawsuit against the city for the alleged violation. So as a result, I wanted to revisit this issue, and because it relates to deletion or modification of a public record, which serves, no public purpose. And for the reasons that I kind of went over, which I won't read all over again, during the May 16th meeting, but I feel that the mayor should retain alternate counsel at his expense, as those actions are outside the course and scope of his duty as mayor. So, I would make so I don't say it wrong again. So now that this issue is concluded as to the city, I would make a motion to not pay for any additional legal fees or costs in regard to Mayor Siraki's alleged public records violation.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor.
Second for discussion.
All right, I have a second. Any other discussion? Vice Mayor, would you like to go next?
Sure. After seeing this agenda item come up, the thought that I had, because I wasn't exactly sure how the discussion would go, was right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, either city manager or city attorney, we have basically an open contract with outside counsel as it relates to this matter. We've had a couple invoices, so I don't know if it's based on the language that's been, or notices that have been communicated to us, if it's just worth saying we terminate that, because at this point it seems there's no need to continue on with that contract, and just let it be from there, and whatever may come, because there's.
I could clarify that. So from, here comes the lawyer side of me. So nothing's done till it's done, right? So a representation has been made that the city will not be sued. Mayor Seidel sent a notification that the city would not be served with a lawsuit in regard to this item. However, that doesn't mean that there's no chance whatsoever that the city would not be served with it.
Fair.
And because this attorney has already worked on this issue, to me, it makes sense to just end the payment for legal services related to the defense of the city, as opposed to terminating the entire relationship with outside counsel. Does that make sense? If I said that wrong, city attorney, please correct me.
You did not say it wrong.
Thank you.
Makes sense to me. That's
Right.
all I had to.
Any other comments?
So the reason it was brought up initially, and correct me if I'm wrong, council member or city attorney, was the allegations that were contained in the letter at that time. I said they were allegations, serious ones, but allegations nonetheless. I don't have any allegations to read in a complaint as it stands as of today, so I haven't seen them. So I don't know what type of defense would need to be provided, because as you had mentioned, Councilmember Gannon, nothing's been drafted yet, so nothing's happened yet. So I don't know if this the determination being made tonight as to something that may happen down the road, I don't know what it is we'd be voting on. I thought the letter phase had basically been concluded. I don't know if further or additional correspondence is going to come up, what that correspondence would entail. And so I think with that, we'd be consistently having this conversation, be consistently making motions as to whatever piece of paper we receive next. And then if a complaint ultimately follows, then whatever those allegations are, and then making that determination. So as it sits right now, I don't think that there's anything to proceed as to, as it stands right now, what are we going to do in the future? Something like it may never happen. So, and it's not that I wouldn't entertain this discussion further, but I'd rather have more things to consider than just the letter phase is over, let's make that decision now. And so it's difficult for me, here comes the lawyer background, but when I would have to review complaints, right? What do the allegations say, and do they match up to whatever decision that I would have to make? And I don't think, I'm not there right now only because there's been no complaint filed and I don't know if one is forthcoming. We've been told there is, but I haven't seen it. So just another point of discussion as I'm not clear exactly how to move forward given exactly where we are right now. And so just, I can't say it any more simply than that.
Councilmember?
No comment.
Okay. I don't have any comment either, so we have a motion and a second. We're going to take a vote on this. Councilmember Gannon? Yes, no?
You can call the motion. All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm opposed.
I'm opposed.
Nay.
Nay? I'm,
Nay.
so 1-4.
Motion failed.
Almost failed. Next item on our agenda is item 18, council comments. Councilmember Gannon, you get to go first.
Thank you, Mayor. I regret that I will not be at this weekend's VOG. I got to start saying VOG. I always say VOG at the VOG event and to launch the tree survey because we'll be celebrating Jackson's birthday at Chuck E. Cheese. So, which I'm sure will be equally as fun. A couple other things next week, school starts. So if you are, driving out on our big roads, Forest Lakes or St. Pete Drive, a reminder, the city did post a map of the new car circle route for Oldsmar Elementary School. So just be aware that cars will be turning off of St. Pete Drive, coming from either Forest Lakes or from the other direction, from the downtown area, and then turning onto Federal, and then heading into the bus circle, and then leaving out behind like Herb's Hobby Shop on Buckingham that way. And so, be aware, there's gonna be kids walking around. I wasn't aware of the crossing guard issue at Forest Lakes, but if the, sheriff's office has determined that that's appropriate, then I'm sure it is. And then, in the next couple of weeks, we'll have our next Safe Routes to School meeting. The walking school bus will be getting started over at Oldsmar Elementary. And I know the Oldsmar Neighborhood Association highlighted that. And I wanted to bring up the Oldsmar Neighborhood Association. They graciously invite us, council members, to attend their meetings. And I wanted to bring it up because obviously we can't talk any other way than up here, And so the reason that it becomes difficult for me, and you guys can give your own perspective, but a lot of things that the Oldsmar Neighborhood Association is working on are very exciting endeavors. I'm excited about the Paint the Pavement. I'm excited about their participation in Safe Routes to School, the downtown improvement, everything from Rosie's Pollinator Garden, the events they're doing as far as hurricane awareness and kind of partnering with the city. But there's also a pending, funding request to the city under the council budget as a charitable organization. And so our presence at a meeting of the Oldsmar Neighborhood Association for me would necessarily have to be silent, right? Because if one of you guys is there as well, or if you hear about something that I say that has to do with something we're gonna vote on, then that causes the sunshine problem. So I wanted to bring that up because I don't want them to misunderstand, the Oldsmar Neighborhood Association members, I don't want them to misunderstand my declination to necessarily attend the meeting for a lack of interest in what they're doing. It's more so that I just want to be careful not to cause any problems with the awesome work that they're doing, so that when they come to us, for approval of certain funding items, that we can, vote on that with confidence and without any issues. So I did want to bring that up. I'm not sure if you guys had similar thoughts. I know you guys have gone to a couple meetings here or there. I don't know if you hang in the back and just kind of not talk or give an opinion on some of the issues. But in any event, I wanted to bring that up, and I wish you guys a wonderful League of Cities conference coming up. So enjoy.
Great, thank you. Next, we have Councilmember Jared Buckman.
Thank you, Mayor. First, another happy birthday to Felicia this week. So happy birthday, Felicia. I want to give a shout out to Leisure Services. I know that's a little risky tonight, but it's no longer your month, so we're going to extend it by one day. But I've spent a lot of time the past couple weeks driving around Pinellas County, and our medians are gorgeous. The peanut you guys have out there, how they're taken care of, I'm just very proud of those, and I wanted to make sure that was recognized tonight through that process. So thank you. Going back to what Katie was saying about schools are back, as a parent of a student who also owns a golf cart, I called the principal in my concerns because where they moved to Federal, you have to go around. You can't drive on St. Pete Drive. So I called the school principal, and he was considering where golf carts could come where the school bus circle is, the older school possibly. I think he's still looking into that, but that could be an option for the golf carts that are coming from this side of town instead of going back to Federal. Congratulations again to Jay Goody. I think I know I'm gonna have to come to breakfast this weekend, so come see you guys this weekend. Lastly, I wanna bring something up. It's something that I wanted to do early on, timing out kind of projects I wanna put on the agenda, but one of the things I'd like to start discussing is the possibility of a teen council. We talked earlier today with the city manager and city clerk, and I know we have teens involved with our boards, but getting them more involved where they can be active participants, just get it on the calendar, see if we can have discussions about it and see if that's something we want to go towards. Other than that, I've got a meeting with Ford Pinellas tomorrow about the apportionment on our seat. I'll give you an update at the next meeting on that vote, how that turns out tomorrow. And other than that, Mayor, that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you very much. Vice Mayor Knapp, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. With one of the boards that I sit on, we had the Noise Abatement Task Force meeting right after our council meeting, the day after our last council meeting. The one interesting thing that came up, which has been mentioned at meetings prior, was that, as I'm sure many of our citizens experience or realize, that several planes come in at fairly late hours in the evening to St. Pete Clearwater Airport. And what's not as well represented in the data that they show in these reports is how many of those flights are actually scheduled to arrive that late. Obviously weather, certain delays out there will force schedules to cascade down, and then the latest flights obviously get pushed later. But there was a representative from Allegiant sitting in on the meeting, and they're like, oh, I wasn't aware that we actually still had flights scheduled to come in that late. And we're like, well, yeah, there are, but their data wasn't properly representative of how many of those flights actually are by default already going to come in late. So I had made a request to PI representatives essentially down there to say, in future reports, if we can get that data to show the breakdown, because I think it will help shed light to Allegiant to understand how many of their flights are already coming in late and potentially affecting our citizens. So yeah, he kind of was shocked because they said, oh, we thought we compressed the schedule and had gotten things before the 11:29 cutoff, I believe that it is, for the voluntary quiet window. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully that helps essentially get some data in front of Allegiant to see if they can adjust their schedules in the future. Next thing, as Councilmember Gannon mentioned, we've got FLC conference towards the latter part of next week. The mayor and I will be attending that. I'm looking forward to all the information that gets shared from all different types of vendors and other municipal officials out there. I think it's been over the years an exciting, and I always enjoy the technology side, or what's coming new and what's green and all those sorts of things that usually come up at conference. So very looking forward to going to that and reporting back to the rest of the council. Also with school, I actually misspoke at the last meeting, so I will not be joining the regular car line, because for the littlest ones in 3PK, you walk them in.
Yep.
So I will be joining the
line.
walking line into the
You'll still be
building
in line.
starting next week. I didn't know that because we don't have orientation until next Tuesday. So
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
they get you lined up for all the info right at the last minute.
That's about right.
Yeah. And just finally wanted to wish my brother a happy early birthday. His birthday is this Sunday. His wife's is 2 days later. So happy birthday, Alex and Rima. And my little niece shares birthday with her auntie. So, and that's all I have.
All
Mayor.
right,
Thank
great
you.
job, Vice Mayor. Councilmember Steve Graber.
Thank you, Mayor. First and foremost, my condolences to your entire family about the loss of your brother.
Thank you.
Just wanted to make sure I pointed that out. And of course, happy new school year to all the teachers and administrators and students and parents. I had a discussion with my neighbor, and we discussed what was going to be fixed while my children were back in school. And hopefully they won't notice so they don't break it again, but it's going to be fun. The Save Our Bay program, and Ashley for your presentation, but what we're still doing, especially 2 years later since we first started with the VOGs, to use the vernacular. Wonderful. And having that this weekend, looking forward to that. And just a quick reminder that, and I saw it online today, it's still hurricane season. So it's been pretty quiet. There's been some storms in the Atlantic. They've all turned. So we saw it last year. I mean, it's post August 1st, but it's going to continue for the foreseeable future. So just to everyone, please stay vigilant. Please pay attention and stock up on things when you can. But other than that, Mayor, that's all I had. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, I have a couple things. First, I want to congratulate you on your award. Your food's wonderful, and I want to also thank you for hanging in here all night and joining us for our council meeting. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Andrew, I want to talk to you about the flights. I got an email. Mayor Seidel sent a letter. Remember 2 years ago we were on council? And they never replied. They just replied yesterday. And they said they want to give us an update. Felicia got a kick out of her, and I were talking about it today.
She shared with me the letter this
okay.
morning.
Yeah. So I asked them for a update, and I was going to give that to Felicia and you. All right? I wanted to talk to you about that.
Finally got a response.
Yeah, finally.
I mean, 2 years, better late than never,
That's,
right?
that's what Felicia said. Maybe if someone complains about something, I can give them 2 years to answer them.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah, think about that, right? So I want to talk about our budget meeting next week. I was talking with Felicia at my meeting today. Cindy, this is amazing. I think she left. But our budget, this is of all the years on council since 2015, this is the best budget I've ever read. This is fantastic. I'm so excited about our meeting, and I want to just thank the staff for what an amazing job you guys have done for our city. This is great work. Thank you so much. I want to just bring that up. And then back to Vice Mayor Knapp. I'm leaving Wednesday. You're leaving Thursday.
Thursday after I drop off the little one.
My wife just ordered the buttons. I ordered 300 of buttons. I'm running for second VP. There's 5 candidates running for the second vice president of the Florida League of Cities. And I've got rack cards ordered today. And I'm going to have a table set up and a pop-up with handouts. Felicia's giving me some of the old magazines, our Oldsmar magazine. The people of the state, elected officials, love our magazine, so I'm going to hand those out, whatever we have left over. Andrew's going to help me hand out stickers and buttons. And I've got a bunch of people around the state and the other elected officials around Pinellas County and Hillsborough and Pasco that are going to help hand out these stickers. There's 5 candidates, as I said. I've been calling the last 2 days to just try to get my mind off of what's been going on in my life. From what I understand, it's down to 2 candidates, and I think I'm one of them. So I have a really good chance of winning the second vice president of the Florida League of Cities. I've been working real hard at it for many, many years, and I just wanted to share that. And I'll give you updates on Friday, next week, if I win. All right, and then the last thing I wanted to mention is I was not in the right mind on your birthday, and I wanted to just say happy birthday. I texted you after a couple days, but I just wanted to make sure, I hope you had a wonderful day. And that's all I have. Next item on our agenda is approve the tentative agenda for the August 15th, 2023 council meeting. Does anyone wish to pull or add anything to the agenda?
Mayor, I'd like to add potential discussion around teen council.
Absolutely. All right, would you like to make the motion to add that?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the tentative agenda with the added item of teen council for August 15th, 2023.
All right. I need a second?
We also need to remove from the agenda, adopt resolution 2023-XX relating to the established procedure for board appointments under city attorney.
Oh,
That's
yes.
been postponed to September 20th.
Do you mind fixing your
The
motion?
motion's on you.
Do you want to amend your
So,
motion to?
Yeah,
delete that?
I'll amend the motion to include the removal of the city attorney adopt resolution 2023 to adopt policy to establish a procedure for board appointments from the August 15, 2023 council meeting.
Perfect.
Thank you, Councilmember. I need a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on that? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Wonderful meeting. I appreciate everybody, especially you guys